For the next few minutes, imagine something with me. Imagine waking up one morning, pouring your usual cup of coffee, taking that first warm sip, and suddenly realizing that something you thought was fading forever is starting to return. Imagine feeling that familiar spark again, not because of a pill, not because of a prescription, but because of one simple addition to your morning routine that begins restoring blood flow, boosting vitality, and giving you back a part of your life that age tried to take away. Most men don't know this, and many won't believe it until they try it for themselves. But the ingredient I'm about to share has been quietly helping men well into their 60s, 70s, and even 80s feel confident and capable again. And the reason this works has nothing to do with testosterone boosters or risky chemicals. It has everything to do with supporting the aging blood vessels that supply strength where you need it most. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand why this works, you'll realize you've been closer to restoring firm, reliable erections than you ever thought. As a urologist who has spent decades helping older men improve urinary health, prostate function, and sexual confidence, I've seen firsthand how frustrating erectile difficulties can become after 60. Men tell me all the time, "Doc, I still feel young in my head, but my body isn't cooperating." And that feeling can be discouraging, especially when your desire hasn't disappeared, but your firmness has. What most men don't realize is that erectile strength doesn't decline because of lack of manliness or lack of testosterone. It declines because of tiny changes inside the blood vessels responsible for delivering oxygen-rich blood to the penile tissue. Over time, these vessels stiffen, narrow, and lose their elasticity. Think of them like old garden hoses. They're still there, but the pressure just isn't the same. And without strong blood flow, erections become softer, shorter lasting, or disappear completely. Now, here's where things get hopeful. Your body isn't done, it hasn't given up on you, and your blood vessels can respond, sometimes dramatically, when given the right support. That's where the morning coffee ingredient I'll share in this video becomes incredibly powerful. When mixed with coffee, it doesn't just give you an energy boost, it unlocks a cascade of effects that improve nitric oxide levels, widen blood vessels, enhance circulation, support cardiovascular health, and increase the firmness and sustainability of erections in a completely natural way. And yes, many men see improvements regardless of age. I'm talking about men in their late 70s and early 80s who come back and tell me, "I didn't think this was possible anymore." Before we get to the ingredient, you need to understand what's standing in your way. The biggest enemy of strong erections after 60 is endothelial decline. The endothelium is a thin layer that lines your blood vessels, helping them open and close with ease. In your 20s and 30s, it works beautifully. But by the time you reach your 50s and 60s, the endothelium becomes less responsive. Years of oxidative stress, inflammation, cholesterol, reduced activity, and even common medications can weaken it. That's why older men often feel that their erections aren't as full or firm, because the pressure needed simply can't build. And here's the part most men never hear: the endothelium can be reactivated. This is why the ingredient paired with morning coffee works so well. Coffee itself already boosts blood flow slightly by stimulating nitric oxide pathways. But with the right natural compound mixed in, the effect becomes significantly stronger. The ingredient I'm talking about is L-citrulline, a natural amino acid found in foods like watermelon. When added to your morning coffee, it helps your body produce more nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing and widening blood vessels. And unlike some supplements that lose potency with age, L-citrulline remains highly effective even in older adults because it bypasses the digestive limitations that come with age. Once inside the body, it converts to L-arginine and then to nitric oxide, giving your blood vessels the exact support they need to regain flexibility. Some of my patients describe the difference as pressure returning. Others say they feel more alive down there. The effect isn't instant, but many men feel a noticeable improvement within a couple of weeks. What makes this solution even more appealing is how gentle and safe it is. L-citrulline isn't a drug. It doesn't force your body to do anything unnatural. Instead, it restores what time has weakened. Think of it like putting oil into an old engine, not to change how the engine works, but to help it run the way it was designed. 2. Another thing that makes this method powerful is its simplicity. You're already drinking coffee. You're already starting your day with something warm and familiar. Adding L-citrulline to your coffee creates a consistent routine, which is exactly what your blood vessels need. Consistency leads to gradual, steady improvement. Many men tell me they start feeling more energy throughout the day as well, and that's no surprise. Better circulation doesn't just affect erections, it improves the whole body. When blood flow improves, the heart works more efficiently, the brain gets more oxygen, and even your stamina increases. This is why I tell older men that improving erectile health often improves life overall. There's another important point I share with my patients. Erectile health is a window into vascular health. If blood flow struggles in the smallest vessels of the penis, there's a higher chance that blood flow may not be optimal in the heart or brain. So when you take steps to improve erections naturally, you're also supporting your long-term well-being. That's why this coffee routine is far more than a bedroom trick. It's a daily habit that supports aging blood vessels across your entire body. And the best part, you don't need anything complicated, just your morning coffee and a small scoop of citrulline powder. At this stage of life, the most effective solutions are often the simplest. Now, in the second half of this video, we're going to go deeper. I'll show you how to take citrulline the right way, what dosage works best for older men, the simple mistake many guys make that weakens results, and how to combine this with other natural habits to regain firmness, stamina, and confidence. If you're a man over 60 who still wants a strong, intimate life, you do not want to miss part 2. As we continue, I want to emphasize that restoring strong erections at 60, 70, or even 80% is not about turning back time. It's about working with your body exactly as it is today. That's why the coffee and citrulline method is becoming one of the simplest and most effective routines older men adopt. But to get the most out of it, you need to use it correctly. Many men add supplements randomly, inconsistently, or at the wrong time of day, and then wonder why they don't see results. Morning coffee is actually the perfect delivery system because caffeine improves absorption and increases blood flow on its own. When citrulline joins the bloodstream during this moment, it helps your vessels become more responsive and more capable of generating strong pressure. One of the most common questions I get is, how much citrulline should I take? For older adults, the sweet spot is usually between 2 and 4 grams in the morning. Some men respond best to 3 grams, others do well at 2. The good news is that this amino acid is gentle enough that it rarely causes digestive discomfort even for people who have sensitive stomachs. If you use tablets or capsules, you often need more because the body doesn't absorb them as efficiently. But citrulline powder dissolves easily and delivers a more powerful effect. When paired with warm coffee, the absorption becomes even smoother. After your first week, many men notice subtle changes: slightly stronger morning firmness, more responsiveness during intimacy, or a sense of increased fullness. By week 3 or 4, the improvements tend to become more noticeable, especially for men who had reliable erections for years. Another key factor in erectile strength is arterial flexibility. After 60, arteries often lose their ability to expand quickly. That's why some men can get partially aroused but struggle to maintain firmness. Citrulline helps by increasing nitric oxide, which increases vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels. But there's another secret. Your body responds better to nitric oxide when certain nutrients are present, especially magnesium and antioxidants like vitamin C. This is why many urologists recommend pairing citrulline with a small diet improvement. Something as simple as adding citrus fruits, leafy greens, or a magnesium supplement can create a noticeable boost. You don't need a complicated diet, just a bit of support to help the citrulline work at full strength. Another mistake older men make is assuming erectile issues are solely physical. Blood flow is the foundation, yes, but stress, performance pressure, and worry can tighten blood vessels and reduce responsiveness. After 60, many men silently carry stress about intimacy, fear of disappointing their partner, or frustration with their changing body. these mental patterns become physical blockages. That's why a simple breathing routine can surprisingly improve performance. A few slow breaths before intimacy relax the nervous system, increase nitric oxide production, and help the body build pressure more easily. You don't need meditation, you don't need therapy, just slow, comfortable breathing. Combined with citrulline, it becomes a powerful 1-2 combination that supports both the mind and the body. Now let's talk about something every man wants to know. Will this work even if I have an enlarged prostate? In many cases, yes. Citrulline isn't a hormone, it doesn't affect prostate growth, and it doesn't conflict with medications commonly used for urinary symptoms. In fact, better circulation often improves overall pelvic health. Many men find that nighttime urination becomes slightly less frequent, not because citrulline shrinks the prostate, but because healthy blood flow improves the function of surrounding muscles and tissues. Improved circulation also supports nerve sensitivity, which helps with responsiveness and increases pleasure. Aging can dull sensitivity, and many men don't talk about this. But when blood flow improves, sensation often returns, helping intimacy feel more rewarding and less effortful. Another advantage of this coffee routine is how motivating it becomes. Once a man sees even a small improvement, he naturally begins making better choices, walking a little more, drinking more water, eating a bit cleaner. These small changes amplify the benefits of citrulline and create a cycle of healthier circulation. And the more circulation you restore, the stronger and more dependable erections become. It becomes far easier to stay consistent when you start the day with a simple habit you actually enjoy. Before we wrap up, let me share a story I've seen play out hundreds of times. A man in his 70s starts this routine, not expecting much. Maybe he's been disappointed before. Maybe he thinks his best years are behind him. But after a few weeks, he notices something. Slightly stronger morning erections, better response during intimacy, more sensation, or simply a feeling of renewed energy. He realizes his body isn't done. He realizes that improvement is still possible. That feeling of hope, of capability, does more than improve sexual confidence. It improves life. It strengthens relationships, it restores emotional closeness, and it gives older men a sense of identity they thought was fading. That's why I encourage you not to underestimate this small change. A scoop of citrulline in your morning coffee may seem simple, but it supports the most important foundation of sexual health: circulation. Your vessels can still respond, your body can still adapt, and your intimate life can still flourish, no matter your age. If you found this helpful and you want more practical, science-backed tips for men over 60, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this hope today.